Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having me today. My name is Janet Krstevski, and I lead Accenture Canada's Talent and Organization Human Potential Practice. And I'm very excited to be here and be talking about a topic that I'm really passionate about. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about unlocking worker potential and be sharing insights, examples, and a framework which is informed by Accenture's recent global research study. As we're all experiencing, this is probably one of the most unique times ever for humanity. Leaders are being tested in real time to keep their business viable while at the same time navigating a social and economic crisis never before imagined. If there's three things you should take away from what we talk about today, they are: what are the needs of people to maximize their work potential? Ideas to build trust and psychological safety with your people, and what frameworks and practices can strengthen the social contract between employers and workers, ultimately leaving both net better off. So how do we take care of our people's needs? Building trust and providing for the care of our people has always been important, but this has really been highlighted during the pandemic and has become even more of a necessity. What is encouraging is that business leaders beyond CHROs are catching on and rethinking the responsibility to their people. So let's take a look at the research. Accenture conducted extensive research with more than 3,200 C-suite leaders and over 15,000 workers across the globe. And this research set out to identify the responsibility of leaders both to their people and the businesses that they serve. Our research shows that prior to the crisis, only 35% of CXOs felt responsible for leaving their people what we're calling net better off. But the good news is that only 6 months later, this jumped to 50%. And from a worker point of view, 2/3 of people at the start of the pandemic felt it was their employer's responsibility to unlock their full potential. And through the crisis, it has also increased to 78%. Amazing. But you may notice that there's a gap between what CXOs feel they're responsible for and what their people need. And even though both groups have increased, there's still roughly the same size gap between what people need and what CXOs feel responsible for. So what are the key dimensions? Our research showed that whether you're a CEO or a janitor, there's 6 dimensions that account for 64% of a person's work potential. And we call this framework net better off. So let me dig in. You'll notice the transactional ones on the top, and it's likely no surprise to you that CXOs felt most responsible for the financial and employable dimensions. Financial is things like giving a paycheck, but it's also an opportunity for employers to think about whether their reward benefit packages meet the needs of their people, both in good times and in times of crisis. And employable is about skilling and providing workers with marketable skills and capabilities, as well as equitable career advancement opportunities. The others you see were certainly reinforced by employees' desires. If I go clockwise around the wheel, the next one is emotional and mental. This dimension's about feeling positive emotions and maintaining mental wellness. The next is relational, feeling a strong sense of belonging and inclusion at work. So very important for connection, for how we're all working today. Physical, being in good physical health and being relatively stress-free. And finally, purposeful, that feeling that you make a positive difference to the world and that your work has meaning and a sense of purpose. So when you focus on these 6 dimensions, it can drive 64% of a person's potential. That's a big number, 64%. But it's even more impressive when you consider that we found that less than 9% of unlocked potential can be explained by things like education, tenure, level, industry, geography, and company size. So making your people net better off is good for your workers, but also good for business. And so next, I wanted to dig into the 5 sweet spots for action. As we continued our analysis, we reviewed many business practices, and some we found were really beneficial to people, but at the expense of business performance, and some were great for business, but not people. And what you see here are the 5 key practices that both improve revenue and human potential. So good for business and people. Let me spend a few moments to talk about each. The first is enabling continuous learning. This one is about organizations using data analysis to anticipate future skills needs and using technology and innovative methods to make people's learning experiences more effective and accessible. The second sweet spot involves listening to what people need on the front lines. Leaders in this practice anticipate, predict, and quickly respond to their people's needs, allowing them to build trust by applying insights in a way that provides clear benefits to individuals, not just to the business. Third up is the practice of using technology to enable flexible work. At the beginning of the crisis, this was all about setting up workers with the technology to be able to work remotely. But we are talking about so much more here. We're talking about using intelligent technologies to automate tasks and improve productivity, really reimagining work through greater human-machine collaboration, resulting in happier people as they engage in more fulfilling and innovative tasks. Champion workforce well-being and equality. Organizations that lead in this practice continually refine their well-being initiatives to reflect people's changing needs. This was front and center during the pandemic. Organizations had to redesign and create initiatives to safeguard the physical and psychological well-being of their workers, nurturing a culture that elevates a sense of belonging and accelerates equality for all. One company that's setting the bar high here is Manulife. Their leadership commitment is clear. They're also using people analytics, continuous learning, and technology to create an inclusive workplace culture. And this past year, we've partnered together with Manulife to empower over 5,200 leaders across the globe with tools to lead more inclusively and foster a culture of belonging. Through immersive experiences, leaders at all levels identified their diversity, equity, and inclusion personal commitments, and personalized DEI learning paths are supported through Accenture's digital All Against Racism and inclusive leadership platforms, which further support the process of changing behaviors and mindsets. The final practice is to set and share people metrics. According to our research, the most equal and diverse cultures experience 11 times the innovation mindset of the least equal and diverse. Organizations that lead in this practice showcase their commitment by ensuring people metrics are in place to drive transparency and strengthen accountability. So to sum things up, businesses that support their workers today when they really need it will strengthen trust. But making people net better off requires more than practices and policies. It means putting care and compassion at the heart of the work experience. And those that get this right will unlock the full potential of their people. So now is the time for executives to really seize the moment. The one last comment I'll make is don't forget to say thank you to your essential workers. Every employee needs to hear that their dedication is noticed and it matters. Gratitude is proven to show improvements in self-esteem, decision-making, productivity, and resilience. And we could all use more positivity right now. So thank you for your time and for having me here with you today. And I'd now like to pass it on to Jay Cohn. Over to you.